Something feels different in NASCAR right now. You can sense it. This is that point in the season where everything starts shifting, quietly, behind the scenes. Not just on the track, but in the lineups, the opportunities, and who's getting a shot and who suddenly isn't. And here's the crazy part. We're heading into Martinsville with not one, but two major developments. At first glance, they might not look huge. But here's the catch. When you really break them down, this could shake things up way more than people expect. And trust me, what happens next will surprise you. Because this first story, it's one of those quiet changes that could mean a lot more than people think. Heading into Martinsville, we're looking at a full field of 37 cars for the Cookout 400. Same number we saw at Darlington. But the lineup, that's where things start to shift. First, the situation with Alex Bowman is still ongoing. He's still sidelined dealing with vertigo, and honestly, that's tough to see as a fan. So once again, Justin Allgaier is stepping in. He'll be behind the wheel of the number 48 Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. And to be fair, he's been doing a solid job. But Martinsville? That's a completely different challenge. This track is brutal. Tight corners, constant pressure, zero room for mistakes. And this is where things get interesting. At Darlington, we saw the number 66 Ford from Garage 66 with Timmy Hill driving. But that car struggled early and never really got going. Now, it's completely out of the entry list for Martinsville. Instead, we're seeing the return of the number 33 Chevrolet from Childress Racing. And this changes everything. Austin Hill is stepping into that car this weekend. And here's the big twist. He has never run a cup race at Martinsville before. That's huge. Because Martinsville isn't about speed. It's about rhythm, patience, and surviving chaos. So what we're about to see is Austin Hill getting thrown straight into the fire. That number 33 car has already made a few appearances this season. Jesse Love drove it at Circuit of the Americas. Then Austin Hill took over at Phoenix. But after skipping Las Vegas and Darlington, it's back. And it's not just a one-time thing either. Jesse Love is expected to return in that car at Talladega later in April. Austin Hill is also scheduled for at least 3 more cup races this season. But here's the catch. Those tracks haven't been announced yet. So now, this No 33 program, it's quietly becoming something you need to watch. Meanwhile, the number 66 Ford isn't gone for good. It's expected to return at Bristol after the Easter break. With Chad Fincham behind the wheel, Josh Bilicki is also set for another start later in the season. And get this, there are still 5 races where that team hasn't even announced a driver yet. So yeah, a lot of moving pieces here. A lot of uncertainty. And that's exactly what makes this weekend at Martinsville so unpredictable. Now, let's shift into the next update, because this one might change the entire conversation. Now this next story, this is where things get even more exciting, because this one could actually give certain drivers a serious edge. Ross Chastain is going double duty this weekend. He's still running full-time in the Cup Series, driving the No. 1 Chevrolet for Trackhouse Racing in the Cookout 400 on Sunday. But here's the twist. On Saturday, he's jumping into the Xfinity Series, driving the number 91 Chevrolet for DGM Racing. And if you know Martinsville, you already know. Running double duty here is no joke. This track will wear you out. Physically, mentally, lap after lap. But here's the catch. That extra track time, it can be a massive advantage. More laps, more feel, more rhythm. And at a place like Martinsville, that can change everything on Sunday. And he's not the only one. Justin Allgaier is also pulling double duty. He'll be driving the number 7 Chevrolet for JR Motorsports in the Xfinity race. And then stepping back into the No. 48 Cup car, filling in again for Alex Bowman. That's a lot of pressure. 2 different cars, 2 different races, 1 intense weekend. And this is where things get interesting. Austin Hill is doing the same thing. He's running the number 33 inches the Cup Series. And his full-time, No. 21 ride in the Xfinity Series for Childress Racing. So now you've got 3 drivers, all pulling double duty. all trying to maximize every single lap at one of the toughest tracks on the schedule. And fans love this, because it adds another layer of drama heading into Sunday. Now, let's zoom out for a second, because the Cup Series field this weekend, it's absolutely stacked. You've got big names everywhere: Ross Chastain, Austin Cindric, Austin Dillon, Noah Gragson, Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, Daniel Suarez, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, AJ Allmendinger, Chris Buescher, Chase Briscoe, Christopher Bell, Joey Logano, Bubba Wallace, William Byron, Todd Gilliland, Ty Gibbs, Michael McDowell, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and many more. This is a loaded grid, heading into one of the most chaotic tracks in NASCAR. And it doesn't stop there. The Xfinity Series lineup is just as competitive. You've got drivers like Sheldon Creed, Jesse Love, Justin Allgaier, Sammy Smith, Brandon Jones, Austin Hill, Harrison Burton, Sam Mayer, and of course, Ross Chastain jumping into the mix as well. So both races this weekend, completely stacked with talent. Now let's take a step back, because all of this raises one big question. What does it actually mean? This weekend at Martinsville is not just another race. This is where things start to shift. You've got lineup changes, part-time entries coming in and out, drivers fighting for opportunities, and others trying to hold on to their spot. You've got Austin Hill trying to prove he belongs at the Cup level on one of the hardest tracks possible. You've got Justin Allgaier carrying the pressure of a top-tier ride while also running double duty. And then there's Ross Chastain putting in extra laps, chasing every possible edge. Because what happens next could define momentum. One good run here, it can change your entire season. One mistake, Martinsville will punish you instantly. And as a fan, this is exactly the kind of chaos you want to see. So now I've got to ask you, who are you watching the closest this weekend? Can Austin Hill handle Martinsville in his first Cup start there? Or does the pressure get to him? Does Chastain's double duty actually give him an advantage? Or will it wear him down? And how big is it that Allgaier is stepping in again for Bowman? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear it. Because, honestly, this weekend feels like a turning point. Austin Hill getting another shot, especially at Martinsville. That's a huge opportunity. Chastain running double duty? That extra track time might matter more than people think. And Allgaier stepping up again? That shows just how important depth is for a team like Hendrick Motorsports. Small changes, big impact. And I wouldn't be surprised if at least one of these storylines explodes after Sunday. If you enjoyed this kind of real NASCAR breakdown, not just headlines but true fan perspective,